Did you know? Anteaters can T-pose. That's very cool, right? That funny T-pose an anteater does? Yeah, it's Mr. Anteater telling you he's seconds away from literally disemboweling you with one swipe. Next time you see an anteater doing the funny pose, just remember they're trying to give you a free C-section with one singular claw slash. But wait, there's more. Anteaters are like nature's vacuum cleaners. They chow down on ants and termites with their long, sticky tongues. And while they may look like party animals, they're actually pretty solitary creatures. You won't catch them doing a conga line anytime soon. Found in Central and South America, they hang out in forests, grasslands, and savannas. Oh, and a heads up, some species are endangered due to habitat loss and hunting. So remember, the next time you see an anteater in its T-pose, give them space and admire from afar. They're not just striking a pose, they mean business. Did you know? Infants and very young toddlers have more taste buds than adults. You'll never believe what makes them taste like pros. Not only are they packed on the tip of their tongues, but they're also sneaking around in places like under the tongue, the back of the throat, and even inside their cheeks. Imagine having taste buds in all those spots. This heightened sensitivity helps babies avoid yucky, harmful stuff and make sure they get all the nutrients they need. As they grow, some taste buds check out and new ones might pop up in different places. So next time you see a baby make a funny face while eating, just remember, they might be tasting flavors we can't even imagine. Babies, the ultimate food critics. And we didn't even know it! Did you know? Bedbugs have crazy unique mating process. Male bedbugs don't just woo the females with charm, they stab their genitals into the female's abdomen. Yep, you heard that right. This wild process is called traumatic insemination. Instead of using the usual route, the male bedbug bypasses the female's reproductive tract and injects sperm directly into her bloodstream. Sounds like a horror movie, right? Despite the traumatic experience, female bedbugs might still choose to mate with males that offer benefits like food or protection. Talk about complicated relationships. And here's a bonus fact. Male and female bedbugs have distinct physical differences. Males might have larger antennae or more prominent genital structures to help them stand out. Remember though, bedbugs are pests and can cause serious discomfort. If you think you've got an infestation, call in the professionals. And maybe be grateful your love life is a bit less stabby. Like, did you know? Honeybees can be trained to sniff out landmines and war zones. Obviously dogs can do it, but to avoid blowing up poor, unsuspecting doggos, they figured out that bees could do the same thing but safer. That's right, these little insects are doing what dogs traditionally do, but with a twist, no risk of setting off the mines. Here's how it works. First, bees are trained to associate the scent of explosives, like TNT, with a sugary reward. Think of it as a sweet treat for saving lives. Then, they're released into a minefield. If they detect the scent of explosives, they hover around that area, alerting handlers to danger. Using honeybees has some serious advantages. Safety first. Bees are much smaller and less likely to trigger a landmine, reducing risks for humans and animals. Plus, they can cover large areas quickly, making them a cost-effective solution. And their keen sense of smell? It's perfect for detecting even trace amounts of explosives. So next time you see a honeybee, remember, they're not just making honey, they're saving lives, one buzz at a time. Like, did you know? Bees don't have lungs. I'll show you how they pull off this amazing trick. Unlike us, bees don't breathe with lungs. Instead, they've got a unique respiratory system called the tracheal system. Imagine a network of tiny tubes called trachea running throughout the bee's body. These tubes open to the outside through small holes called spiracles, located on the sides of the bee's body. Air enters through these spiracles and travels through the trachea, delivering oxygen directly to the cells. No need for blood or lungs. This efficient system lets bees stay light and nimble, perfect for all that flying and flower hopping. So, next time you see a bee buzzing by, remember it's doing all that without ever taking a breath like we do. Did you know? Cuttlefish can accurately match the color and texture of their environment despite the fact that they're colorblind. So, how do they blend in with the ocean floor like pros? It's all thanks to their chromatophores and iridophores. Chromatophores are like nature's instant paintbrush, letting them change color in seconds. And iridophores? They add a sparkle, making them shimmer like underwater chameleons. But wait, there's more. Cuttlefish can also change their skin texture with tiny bumps called papillae. 1 second, they're smooth as silk. The next, they're a rock or seaweed. Even without seeing colors, they nail the perfect camouflage. This helps them dodge predators, sneak up on prey, and even chat with their cuttlefish buddies. So next time you're snorkeling, remember, the cuttlefish might be watching you, and you'd never know it. Like, did you know? Dogs can't tell time. Dogs can't read clocks or calendars, but they have an amazing trick up their paws. They use their super sniffers to track time. Here's how it works. Your dog's nose can remember your scent perfectly. When you leave, your smell starts to fade. The longer you're away, the weaker your scent becomes. So, when your dog sniffs around and finds your scent isn't as strong, they know you've been gone a while. Think of it like a natural, sniffable timer. The stronger your scent, the shorter your absence. The weaker it is, the longer you've been away. And when that front door finally opens, they go bonkers because their nose tells them it's been forever since they last saw you. So next time your pup greets you like a rock star, remember it's not about the clock, it's about the sniff. Isn't that positively amazing? Did you know? Flamingos are badass. Because they're the ultimate survivors. Flamingos, those fabulous pink birds, are tougher than they look. Did you know they can handle water temperatures up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees Celsius? That's hotter than your morning coffee. And if that's not wild enough, they can live in water so alkaline it could melt human skin. Yikes! But wait, there's more. These resilient birds can drink near boiling water, making them the real MVPs of the bird world. On the flip side, they're also chill with cold climates, as long as there's a non-frozen water source to munch from. Some species even hang out near volcanoes. Talk about living on the edge. So, next time you see a flamingo, remember, they're not just a pretty face, they're nature's little badasses, thriving in extreme conditions. Flamingos, the ultimate survivors. Don't mess with them. Did you know, shining a flashlight to a baby turtle is dangerous? Flashlights and baby turtles are not a match made in heaven. Here's why. So, picture this. You're on a beach at night, flashlight in hand, admiring the adorable baby sea turtles hatching. Seems harmless, right? Wrong! Shining that light for too long makes these little guys spin in circles, a phenomenon called the ring of death. Why? They mistake your light for the moon, their natural guide to the ocean. Their vision gets so messed up, they're left disoriented and doomed. Yikes. So next time you're on turtle duty, keep those flashlights off and let nature do its thing. Remember, a little darkness can mean a brighter future for these tiny explorers. Let's give them a fighting chance. And hey, did you know? Hippos, though, appearing cute, fat, and cuddly, can reach speeds of 48 kilometers per h and kill at least 500 people a year. They might look cute and cuddly, but they're anything but that. Hippos are like nature's ultimate plot twist. Despite their pudgy appearance, hippos are no joke. They don't just nibble on grass, they have jaws that can open wider than your favorite pizza. And trust me, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that bite. Territorial and super protective of their young, hippos get aggressive quickly. So, next time you're on a safari, admire them from a distance. Never, and I mean never, try to feed a hippo. Because cute doesn't mean cuddly when it comes to these dangerous creatures. Stay safe, stay smart, and remember, hippos are the heavyweight champions of surprise speed. Who knew, right? Did you know? Lobsters don't typically die of old age. Lobsters have a superpower, they don't age like we do. That's right, lobsters don't experience cellular senescence, the fancy term for aging. They keep growing and molting without getting old and wrinkly. But wait, before you start envying them, remember, lobsters aren't immortal. They can still get eaten by predators, catch diseases, or get injured in a scuffle. Plus, environmental changes like water pollution can be a real bummer for them. So, while these clawed creatures are the Benjamin Buttons of the sea, their life isn't all smooth sailing. Nature always finds a way to keep things interesting. Next time you see a lobster, give a nod to their age-defying ways, and maybe think twice before ordering that lobster roll. Did you know? When London Zoo first opened its gates to the public in 1828, they had an unusual ticket policy. Visitors could enter for free if they brought along a cat or dog to feed to the lions. Yep, you heard that right. This might sound bizarre today, but back then, it was all about the spectacle. Victorians were fascinated by exotic animals and didn't mind a bit of brutality for entertainment. Zoos were more like live-action reality shows than conservation centers, but thankfully, times have changed. As attitudes towards animal welfare evolved, such practices were discontinued. Nowadays, places like the London Zoo focus on animal care, education, and conservation. No more buy-up, bring your own pet policies. So next time you visit a zoo, remember, it's all about preserving wildlife and learning about our planet, not feeding Fluffy to the lions. Stay curious, folks. Did you know? If sound could be transmitted through space, the sun would be so loud on Earth. How noisy, you ask? Try standing next to a jet engine. Yeah, that loud, and the sun is 94 million miles away. But here's the thing. Sound waves need a medium like air or water to travel. Space, total silence, folks. No medium, no sound. However, in a wild hypothetical universe where sound waves could zip through space, the sun's immense energy would create a deafening roar on Earth. We're talking about a sound so powerful it could drown out just about everything. Luckily for us, sound can't make it through the vacuum of space. So, we get to enjoy the sun's warmth and light without the eardrum-busting noise. Isn't space fascinating? Did you know? A narwhal's horn is actually an overgrown tooth. Yup, this sea creature is sporting an overgrown left incisor, turning it into a tusk, not a horn. But, here's the kicker. No one really knows what it's for. Some scientists think it might be a super-sensitive sensory organ, helping narwhals feel changes in their environment. Others believe it's all about showing off, maybe for attracting mates or establishing dominance. And then there's the theory that it's a handy hunting tool, perfect for breaking ice or stunning prey. So next time you see a narwhal, remember, it's got a toothy mystery sticking out of its head. Who knew the ocean had such quirky secrets? Did you know? Owls can't move their eyes. So, here's the deal. Owls have these crazy tubular eyes that are fixed in their sockets. Yeah, like binoculars glued to your face. This unique eye structure means they can't roll their eyes like we do. But don't worry, they've got a trick up their feathery sleeves. To make up for their stationary stare, owls can rotate their heads up to 270 degrees. That's like doing an exorcist move without the creepy vibes. This head-turning talent lets them scan their surroundings and spot prey without moving their bodies. And if you think that's cool, check this out. Owls can do this all silently. By rotating their heads without a peep, they can sneak up on their dinner and strike like ninja birds. So next time you see an owl giving you a death stare, remember it's not rude, they literally can't help it. This eye fixation adaptation is a perfect example of nature's creativity. Owls, masters of the silent head turn. Who knew being stiff-eyed could be so awesome? Did you know? Oxford University has been around since 1096. Oxford University is like the grandparent of higher education. With evidence of teaching dating back to 1096, it's one of the oldest universities on the planet. Originally, it all started with scholars gathering under the university church to study and teach. Picture it, no laptops, no Wi-Fi, just pure brain power. Fast forward to today, and Oxford has grown into a powerhouse with 39 unique colleges, each brimming with its own history and traditions. And let's not forget its impressive alumni list. Scientists, politicians, writers, you name it, they've probably studied at Oxford. Talk about a brainy bunch. Oxford's influence on Western civilization is monumental, contributing to advancements in countless fields of knowledge. It's no wonder it's one of the most prestigious universities in the world. So next time you think about ancient roots, remember, Oxford's been growing knowledge for over 900 years. Did you know? Shark can reproduce without mating. Some species of sharks, such as the hammerhead shark and the bonnethead shark, can reproduce both sexually and asexually. Yep, thanks to a process called parthenogenesis. These lady sharks can have babies all on their own. Parthenogenesis is a fancy word for when an unfertilized egg turns into an embryo. Basically, the egg duplicates its chromosomes, creating a mini-me that's a genetic copy of the mother. So, no need for a dad. This cool trick helps sharks survive in the wild, especially when there aren't many males around. Talk about girl power. Remember, next time you see a shark, you might just be looking at a solo parenting superstar. Isn't nature fascinating? So take a bite out of that bit of knowledge and impress your friends with your shark smarts. Did you know? Doctors store skulls in your gut. When your brain swells dangerously, doctors might need to remove a piece of your skull, a procedure called a craniectomy. But where do they keep that skull piece? In your gut. Yep, they store it in this super nutrient-rich fatty tissue called the omentum, which connects your organs. This process is known as omental transplantation. First, the surgeon removes the skull piece to relieve pressure on your brain. Then, they create a pouch in the omentum and tuck the skull piece inside. The omentum keeps it alive and kicking until your brain calms down. Finally, once the swelling's down, the surgeon reattaches the skull piece to your head. It's not common and definitely not a DIY project, but it can save lives. Did you know? Sugar isn't directly bad for your teeth. The real villains are the bacteria in your mouth. They love sugar as much as you do. When you munch on sweets, the bacteria feast on that sugar, and here's the gross part, they produce acid as a byproduct. Now this acid is like the Joker to your Batman. It erodes the enamel, the hard outer layer of your teeth. Weakened enamel means more cavities and dental problems. Not so sweet, right? But wait, there's more. Sugar also helps form plaque, a sticky film that loves to hang out on your teeth. This plaque traps bacteria and acid, putting your teeth in double trouble. So next time you're about to dive into that candy stash, remember, it's not the sugar itself, but the acid party it kicks off that's the real issue. Keep brushing and flossing, and maybe swap that candy bar for an apple now and then. Your teeth will thank you. Did you know? Vulture will have a hard time flying after stuffing themselves with a meal. Predators often target vultures when they're feeding or resting, as they are less able to defend themselves. But don't worry, vulture have a defense mechanism. When vultures feel threatened, they pull a fast one by regurgitating their food. It's called reverse peristalsis. Picture this. They quickly eject partially digested food to lighten their load and make a speedy getaway. It's like hitting the eject button on a heavy lunch. Predators like eagles, hawks, and large snakes are always on the lookout. So vultures have to be crafty. Regurgitation helps them stay light and agile. Plus, with their keen eyesight and powerful beaks, these birds are more resilient than you'd think. So, next time you see a vulture, remember, they might just have a surprise up their sleeve, or rather, in their stomach. Did you know? Water itself does not conduct electricity. Yep, it's not the water, but all the stuff in the water that does the zapping. Let's break it down. When we talk about water's electrical conductivity, we're really talking about the dissolved substances called electrolytes in the water. Electrolytes are those sneaky little substances that split into ions, charged particles, when they dissolve. Now, these ions, they're the real MVPs. They move through the water and carry the electric charge. Think salts, acids, and minerals. Common table salt, for example, is a big player. So is hydrochloric acid and good old iron. But wait, distilled water? That's a whole different story. Distilled waters has no ions, so no conductivity. It's been purified to remove those electrolytes, meaning it's a poor conductor. So next time you hear water and electricity don't mix, remember it's all about what's in the water. Did you know? Wombat poop is cube-shaped. Yep, you heard that right, cubes? So, wombats are the only animals with cube-shaped poop. Scientists have been scratching their heads over this for ages. But they finally cracked the case. Turns out it's all about intestinal mechanics. Wombats have stretchy, elastic-like tissues in their intestines that contract just right to mold their poop into cubes. Think of it like a Play-Doh factory, but, you know, inside a wombat. Plus, these guys have a super slow digestion process. Their poop takes its sweet time in the intestines, getting perfectly shaped along the way. Why cubes, you ask? Well, nobody's 100% sure, but it's likely for marking their territory. Cubes stack better and don't roll away. Efficient, right? So there you have it. Wombats, nature's little cube makers. Did you know? Woodpeckers have a number of adaptations that allow them to peck at trees without suffering concussions. Woodpeckers peck at trees thousands of times a day, yet they never get concussion. How do they do it? First up, their skulls. Their thick, reinforced skulls act like a natural helmet, absorbing shock. Next, their secret weapon, the hyoid bone. This flexible bone wraps around their entire skull, acting like a built-in shock absorber. And let's not forget the cerebrospinal fluid. Think of it as their brain's personal cushion. These feathered marvels combine powerful beaks and strong neck muscles to hammer away without a headache. So, next time you see a woodpecker, give a nod to nature's little crash test dummies. Fascinating, right? Did you know? Antarctica is very smelly. We're diving into why Antarctica has a stinky secret. Antarctica is one of the coldest, driest places on Earth. It's actually a desert. But did you know it smells like penguin poop? Here's why. It's so cold that bacteria can't survive to clean up the mess. So nothing's breaking down all that penguin droppings. And get this, penguins eat a ton of fish, which means their poop packs a nose-punching stench. Imagine the worst fish market smell, times 10. If you're close enough to see these cute waddlers, you're definitely close enough to smell them. My friend who works there says it's like a fishy poop explosion. So next time you think about Antarctica, remember, it's not just ice and adventure, it's also a little stinky. Did you know? The microgravity in space can cause an astronaut's blood to run backwards. In the microgravity environment of space, blood doesn't behave like it does on Earth. On Earth, gravity pulls our blood downward, but in space, no gravity means no pulling. This makes blood pool in the upper body, especially the head and chest. Weird, right? Imagine waking up with a puffy face every day. Not fun. Astronauts can get facial swelling, headaches, and even vision issues because of this. But NASA has a few tricks up their sleeve. Astronauts do regular exercise routines, wear special garments to help with blood flow, and drink lots of fluids. These measures help keep their blood pressure in check and prevent the negative effects of microgravity. So, next time you look up at the stars, remember there's a whole lot of funky science happening up there. Space isn't just cool, it's downright strange. Like and subscribe if you learned something new today.